Hey everyone, my name is Cameron, and today I'm going to be presenting my family assessment project. A large key component in this project was the Friedman Family Assessment Model, and the family that I chose to work with was the Smith family, which consisted of January, Lance, Olivia, and Liam. So this is my family composition table, and like I just mentioned, the family members. January is the mom. She's 46 years old, and she is married to Lance, which is the father of their two kids, and he is 48 years old. They both got their associate's degree. January is a nurse, and Lance is an operator. Their eldest was a daughter, and her name is Olivia. She's 20 years old. She's single, and her highest degree of education is a high school diploma, but she is actively in college. And then their youngest is their son Liam. He's 10 years old and he is single, and he's obviously currently still in school. This whole family is from Paulina, Louisiana. They have been residing here for quite some time and they don't plan on moving anytime soon. They all identify as white Caucasian. They are all English speaking and they're religious, but they don't actively attend any services quite often. They live in a neighborhood and they are monitored by an HOA. January was the person that I interviewed for this family, and she said that she finds this environment to be very safe and adequate for all of their needs and just overall a good neighborhood. This is my genogram. So the nuclear family is obviously January, Lance, Olivia, and Liam. January's mom and dad, they are both still living, but they are divorced. Her dad is 81 years old. He's healthy. He's actually very healthy, but he is a retired welder. And then her mom is 78 years old. She is also healthy, and she's a retired clerk. And then Lance, his parents, his dad is 78 years old. He is also healthy, and he's retired, and he was a machinist. And then his mom is a retired hairdresser. She's 79 years old, and she's also healthy. January and Lance are married, and then they had Olivia and Liam. Olivia is 20 years old. She has anxiety and asthma, but other than that, she's pretty healthy. And Liam also has asthma, but also other than that, he is healthy. Lance has one sibling. Her name is Jenna. She is 44 years old. She's also healthy and a school teacher. She is not married and does not have any children. And this is my key right here at the bottom. January and Lance are also both born and raised from Thibodaux, Louisiana, until they moved eventually to Paulina, and then that's where Olivia and Liam were born and raised. This is my eco map. An eco map generally expresses the Smiths family's connections with external sources and the energy flow between all of them. So we'll start right here at extended family. So they have a tense relationship. They're not really that close with outsiders. It's outside of their nuclear family. Like, for example, Jenna and Lance, they're not that close. Working out, this is something that they do in their free time. That puts energy into them because it's something that they enjoy doing. Same as shopping down in the bottom corner. January's work, it's a strong connection and there's equal forces of flow of energy. Same with Lance. Grandma Michelle, which is January's mom, they are very close with her. She lives kind of close by and she helps out a lot with like taking Liam to school, picking him up, stuff like that. I put religion as a weak relationship because, like I said, they are religious, but they don't actively attend any services or anything. Healthcare is strong. They make sure to attend annual visits and stuff like that. Their friends, they are also very close with their friends and they see each other pretty regularly and their social life is overall well. So the developmental level of this family, this goes around Duvall's 8-stage family life cycle, and that provides a framework for understanding a family's developmental stages throughout their life. And this Smith family is both stage 4 and stage 6. Stage 4 is school-age family stage, and I said this was then because supporting the children academically and social while in grade school and college was a very important thing to both January and Lance. And then they are also stage 6, which is the launching stage, because this means that the parents are navigating the transition of allowing Olivia to be more independent and on her own for college. Communication patterns. January is a functional sender and a dysfunctional receiver. A functional sender is secure and clearly communicates their points and feelings. Other functional senders are Olivia and Lance. January is a dysfunctional receiver, which can be known as hearing whatever they really want to hear. They're kind of stubborn, they make assumptions. Another one of those is Olivia. Lance, on the other hand, is a functional receiver, just like Liam, and they are open to listening to the other side, hearing out that other person, and validating. But however, Liam is an emotional expression as his communication pattern because he's younger and he tends to just reply based off of his emotions in that given moment. Power base and overall continuum. January, she qualifies as a tension management power, and she just kind of helps like work out things, problem solve. She's like the main one, the core. Lance also, he's legitimate power and authority. He's kind of the leader and in control. Olivia is the resource and expert power. She kind of contains certain attributes that overall rule. In the interview, January had mentioned that they do hold their kids accountable, but not to the extent that they should, because they, quote, let their kids walk all over them, but it's just because they feel too bad to fully punish them. So that's why I put Olivia as that. And then Liam is the reward power. He knows that basically good behavior is going to be used and then a reward will be given to him in return. Role structure. For January, her formal is a child care and formal caretaker. Lance, formal, he is a provider and the housekeeper. He overall makes the most amount of money, so he's the most source of income for them. And he typically cleans up the most around the house, January mentioned. Informal for Lance is that he's an initiator, contributor. He also is like problem solving. Olivia, her formal is child socialization because she's at that age where she's just socializing with other people, keeping the family in touch with all of their friends. Informal, she's a blocker, same as Liam. And January had said they were blockers because they tend to not really take feedback and they're negative and they don't really want to hear your suggestions. They're kind of stubborn. And then formal for Liam is that he is a rule follower because, like I mentioned earlier, the reward, he knows that's the outcome if that's what he does. Family values. The Smith family upholds values of frequent communication, problem solving, success, education, and kindness. Frequent communication, I put that at the top because that was what January really expressed. Them just constantly being in touch, communicating, that's a really important thing to them, staying close. Problem solving, whenever things get rough, they always make sure to try to talk things out in the best way possible, even if it's difficult. And then success and education kind of tie in together. January stressed that she really wants her children to be successful and finish college and obtain their highest degree of education that they would like. And then kindness, because it just gets you far in life and with family roles. Healthcare. The Smith family is typically a healthy family besides the anxiety and asthma that the children have, and anxiety both of the parents. The Smith family also has health insurance. They attend annual checkups at the doctor, are vaccinated, go to the dentist, and have average dietary habits. However, their sleeping habits are not the best. Family stressors and coping. Some stressors. We have short-term and long. Short-term, or January said that the holidays are approaching, so like figuring out what gifts to get, the financial side of those things, trying to make time to see both sides of the family. Long-term, children's education, finishing college, like I just mentioned. She just hopes that Olivia doesn't waste her time and finishes out college. Same with Liam. It's quite a bit of an age gap, but he so far plans on attending college. For coping mechanisms, use of humor was a big thing. They try to keep things happy. They try to make light of any situation. That typically helps. Relying on one another, they just go to one another. They don't really use external sources for coping. It's more so internal. And both parents work to afford their lifestyle that they have and to afford school, like college. The actual NANDA diagnosis, so the nursing diagnosis that I have actually is that they have ineffective communication within the family sometimes due to dysfunctional communication techniques because some of them were dysfunctional receivers. The goal and the outcome was to just have improved communication techniques within 2 to 3 weeks and overall better communication intervention. And then the interventions require practicing expressing feelings appropriately, just things like that. And then at risk for NANDA diagnosis. So the diagnosis was at risk for disruption of family due to separation of Olivia being away at college. The goal and the outcome was just frequent communication between the family will be maintained and more ways of visiting each other will apply within the next month. Interventions, external coping strategies, educating the family on normal feelings associated with transitions like so. This just means actually, instead of staying internally coping, to actually reach out, maybe therapy or talking to friends about it, just stuff like that. And then having the family know that it's normal to have these kinds of feelings and what's normal and not normal, and just that transitioning overall needs to be navigated in healthy ways. These are my references, and that is it. Thanks for watching.